Welcome to All Things Moore County, Moore County's weekly radio show highlighting the many facets of the Sandhills. That includes real estate, lifestyle, community and neighborhoods. And now from 4 Properties, here's your host, Bill Sahadi.
Good morning and welcome to the talk show, All Things Moore County. We are now full-time into the beginning of the summer season. And with the summer season, we have lots of events going on in Moore County. Not everybody goes to the beach on the weekends. And a lot of people enjoy the peace and quiet that the summer brings without the traffic. We've had the privilege of doing numerous shows over the years with the Arts Council of Moore County. Most recently, we talked, I think it was back in 2023, about their 50th anniversary. Mm-hmm. And the event that we're going to be talking about today is the 2025 Fine Arts Festival, which is put on by the Arts Council of Moore County, and it's going to run, it's a summer event, it's not a weekend event, from July the 23rd through the 27th of August. And it's not just a celebration of artists who come from all over the country, but it's also a celebration of the Arts Council of Moore County, which is a nonprofit charitable organization with the mission to inspire and strengthen our community through the arts. To discuss the numerous topics we're going to be talking about today, we're being joined by Executive Director Chris Dunn. We're being joined by Program Director Kate Curtin and the new Youth Program Director Heather Weeks. And there's a lot of information that they're going to be talking about today. Obviously, the Fine Arts Festival, but more and more about the Arts Council. With the demographics changing so much in Moore County every 3 to 4 years, there's always a new group of people who come into town who have a curiosity about what is that beautiful building, the Campbell House, as they drive up Connecticut. What is the Weymouth Center? And we've had amazing response to all of a sudden, oh, there's something that they thought it was a private house. Mm-hmm. They have no idea. They go, what a pretty setting. Yeah. And if it wasn't enough to want to talk today about the Arts Council, in the June Pine Straw, there was a great article written, and you can pick that up as we speak. It was written by the development director, Ray Owen, and it chronicles the cultural history of the Campbell House, and which is now the home of the Arts Council of Moore County. Mm-hmm. But Chris, that article just touches the surface because there's a deep story, I guess since 1973, mm-hmm. that the Arts Council has been in existence.
Oh, yeah. We're in the 54th year or something like that.
Yeah.
So
50, yep.
It's been great to actually celebrate the 50th anniversary of something. I've never been a part of something that has that kind of a milestone. So we're very proud of it.
You'll stop bragging about that one day.
No. When we hit our 60th, I'll start bragging about the 50th. Which it's coming up.
Chris, how long have you been with the Arts Council?
I've been with the Arts Council since 1995, so I'm moving into my 31st year. And it doesn't feel like that. It feels like I've been here 5 years.
Right.
Which is better than it's the other way. I've been here forever. I can't stand it. But I know I got here, and I knew immediately it was a place that I could live and work forever,
right.
as long as they'll have me.
Right. What does the Arts Council of Moore County mean to the residents of Moore mm-hmm. County who get to take advantage of the facility and the events that you offer?
Well, the main thing about the Arts Council is different than all the other arts organizations in that it gets to promote what the programs we do and the grants that we offer, but it also is there to promote what those arts organizations do, like the Sunrise Theater and Weymouth Center and the Moore County Choral Society. Our mission is here to support them right. as well as support the programs that we have been doing.
It's funny, we had the Moore Choral Society mm-hmm. on this year.
They're 50.
We've had, yes, that's correct. We've had the privilege of touching the arts both at the student level and at the adult level.
Oh, yeah.
I want to just go around the table real quick and
Yeah.
just introduce everybody. Heather Weeks, good morning.
Good morning.
It's good to see you. You were filling me in on your history. You were a teacher at O'Neill for way more years than I would ever imagine. I'm like shocked when you told me how many years.
Thank you. I think,
That is a compliment.
yeah, for anybody to stay in teaching more than 2 or 3 years.
How many years were you in?
16 years teaching at O'Neill, and then prior I was in public schools in different states. My husband moved around with the military, so I taught in Virginia, Washington State, and Georgia. And then ultimately we landed here. And when he retired, I was in my era of saying yes to everything. So we kind of flip-flopped, and he, pointed out, you're never home. So is there a way to pull back and reduce, your workload? So I stepped away from teaching and then landed at the Arts Council. So I'm coming up on 1 year working with the Arts Council.
Well, you work as a youth program director, and tell me what the Arts Council offers to the youth of Moore County, because we have a lot of parents who listen.
Yeah, we offer a lot. I think kind of our flagship program for youth is PAMS, Performing Arts in More Schools. That is my primary role during the school year. I'm kind of a middle person between performing artists and schools. So we provide some funding, we sponsor programs, and sometimes the PTAs will help, or school budgets. They also match what we're bringing to the program. And we bring in regional, sometimes national talent, storytellers, musicians, art, visual artists. We bring in dance troupes. I had the opportunity to meet Kwame Mbalia, who is an author. He writes series that are really, really popular. I didn't know until I went into a middle school, but nationally recognized. And we brought him into Southern Middle and to West Pine Middle. We gave a book to each student, and the kids were just over the moon meeting him. He was really engaging. And I think it's just awesome to see for some kids who may not necessarily feel engaged in their everyday classes, when you bring in somebody special, who can light up the room and just engage kids. That's probably the best part of the job.
Last week we had a guest on, Dr. Jolene Erlacher. She speaks about generations and the way they communicate, and we spent a lot of time talking on last week's show about getting kids off their devices so that they can be present. And as a teacher, you probably know the value of the arts and the indelible impressions they make on kids, whether they go into the arts or whether they just become a patron of the arts.
Yeah, for sure. With the Young People's Fine Arts Festival, I think that was a big moment for me to see, wow, this is kind of the big stage for some of these kids, who may not otherwise get recognition. We focus a lot on academics, as we should, and then athletics, kind of secondary. But the kids whose love and passion is, in the arts, sometimes they don't really have an opportunity to be recognized for what they do. So it was really neat to see over 500 people attend the Young People's Fine Arts Festival, and just how excited some of the young artists are to have their piece be selected, first of all, which is really saying something, and then to be up in a gallery.
Right.
So it's I think it's really important, regardless, and then some of the kids, they had their friends come in to just support them and to view art, and they didn't have anything in the show. So it's kind of, like going to watch a soccer game or a football game.
Some kids, they join a sports team and they're part of a team. But when you're in the arts, you're out there by yourself.
Sometimes.
Yeah,
So
sometimes.
With visual arts, yeah, that's a kind of like a solitary thing to create something. But if you go with music or dance, you are definitely working with somebody.
Right.
Plus, there's the practice time, which is solitary. And I'm a musician.
Yep.
And if it weren't for band in high school, I'm not sure what I'd be doing now.
Right.
Nothing else I had no passion for anything else, but
Right.
because my county supported
Right.
the band program at my high school, I
Right.
knew from, I think, like 7th grade, I knew where I was going to be the next 6 years.
Let me ask you a question. Do you remember who your 5th grade teacher was?
Oh, wait, which teacher?
Doesn't matter. Do you
Band
remember?
director, yes.
Okay.
5th grade.
So I go back to Heather and I say, as a teacher, yes, the arts create indelible impressions, but so do the teachers. And you came from education, and so what you're doing now, you've evolved. It's almost like a natural fit, right?
Yeah.
I don't think she's shy. I think it's
No, she's fine.
a piece of cake.
Oh, well, this is actually easier than standing up in front of high school students. So, and I did that
High
for,
school
for a
students
long
can
time.
be a tough audience.
yeah,
yeah.
real tough audience.
Catch them in a
sometimes.
bad mood.
Yeah.
I want to just continue to go around the
Yep.
table.
Okay.
Kate, as you mentioned, we had met years ago. You were involved with the PTA at the middle school in Southern Pines.
Right. I was the president of the Southern Middle PTA.
Okay. And your son graduated Moore County Schools?
Yes, Pinecrest. He graduated in 2020 that year where,
Oh, my gosh.
the parking lot graduation is
Yeah.
what we had.
I was there.
Oh, my gosh. That's crazy. And he's probably now out of college, or
Yeah, he graduated last year.
is that right?
Uh-huh.
And you've been with the Arts Council since 2016?
Yes.
Program director.
Well, I started out as the youth program director. So I did that about 6 years. So I had Heather's job.
Okay.
And then I moved to program and art gallery director about 2 years ago. And so that's what I'm doing now. So I do more of the adult programming. So we have the Fine Arts Festival coming up, where last year we had 246 entries.
Wow. From not just the state of North Carolina, by
Right,
the way.
all over. We had one emerging artist from University of Michigan send 2 paintings through the mail to be part of the exhibit. So
Well, this is one of the big events of the year for you, but there are so many others. And we're going to come back in the second set. I want to talk about specifically some of the details, because the to-do list is unbelievable. The planning that's involved in this, because you're basically shepherding over a 5-week event,
Oh, yeah.
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Before we close, the Campbell House, what does it mean to you and its place in Moore County?
Oh wow. So when I first started working there, I'm like, oh man, this is a dream. The people are
Right.
so nice.
Right.
I'm like, I love historic buildings.
Yep.
And I'm like, you walk outside, you have the old door and all the flowers. I'm like, did I just dream this? I just walked into this job and I'm like, this is great. I needed something with flexible hours and both the youth program director job and the program director job you can pop in and out and
There's no
nice.
question. Those are hallowed grounds in Moore
Oh, yeah.
County. My fondest recollection was way back in 2001. We did the benefit concert for the American Red Cross. We brought in the singer, Jane Oliver,
I remember.
who was best known for a duet that she did with Johnny Mathis
Yep.
from the movie in 1979 with Alan Alda and Ellen Burstyn. It was Academy Award nominated song, The Last Time I Felt Like This.
Yeah.
I was just a fan. She came in. What did we do? We all met at the Campbell House, and we had a welcome lunch for her. And we looked out through the windows. She, too, would agree with you that she thought she was in some movie or something. It was just a beautiful setting. Let's come back in the second set, and let's dig into the Fine Arts Festival, which is coming up in a few short weeks. This is All Things Moore County. We'll be right back. Welcome back to our second show of All Things Moore County. Our entire show is talking about the Arts Council of Moore County, and in particular, the upcoming Fine Arts Festival, which will be from July the 23rd through the 27th of August. A 5-week event sounds daunting. Chris, I just need you to kind of roll out some of the specifics and talk about if you're speaking to the artists who may be entering or to the public who may want to attend. What are they in store for?
This is the county's largest art exhibit that features mostly local and regional artists, but we've had art from all over the country and from Mexico and Canada. So it's an international, it can be. It's open to anyone 16 years or older, no matter where you're from, to enter 2 works, and they get judged. So whatever you enter gets hung. It's not juried. We don't choose them. You choose what you want to enter, and then it gets judged, and we give out cash money for the winners. The best part of it is if you sell a piece, that's probably the ultimate judge right there if you get a piece sold.
Right.
But we've been doing this since 1980. It started, if I'm not mistaken, it started at Weymouth Center when we had an office there.
Right.
Then I think after that we moved to the Campbell House and became an exhibit there. And it's one of our largest. We have a children's version of it called the Young People's Fine Arts Festival. This one is for the adults. We do go 16 and 17-year-olds because some of those students, like at Pinecrest or Union Pines and Northmore, they are trying to build their portfolio.
Right.
And being in a show like this and getting judged, some of them win. It just builds up their resume and portfolio.
And some win, some don't. But isn't that life?
That is, and it started to showcase what you did. It was and to give our artists an incentive to get better at it.
Right.
The competition, I think, came a little bit later, but it's still an important part because you want them to put their best art into the show.
People always say they watch professional athletes and all the dollars that they make. And people say, forget it. The majority of people will never get to that level. But that expression, starving artist, that has been around, probably would say that being in the field of art, an artist, is probably even more competitive to get from here to there.
Yeah. It's hard. To make a living as an artist, it's hard.
Right.
I as a musician, I never wanted to be a working musician. There was 2 things. I didn't have the talent, and then I didn't have the not the will, but the courage to take that leap. And I was willing to work for it, but I knew there was more hurdles with me. So that's with the Arts Council. We want to at least give those people an opportunity if they want to take that leap to do that. And this is something where we've had people who were just learning how to watercolor, and 10 years later, they're winning the whole thing. And that's always exciting to see somebody grow into that, to be a wonderful artist. And Kate's probably seen a lot of them come in over 9 years. You've been here 9 years.
Yes, and I've seen artists who have entered into the Young People's Fine Arts Festival back down at like middle school, come through high school, and now they're entering the Fine Arts Festival.
Right. I just noticed that you're from Syracuse, New York, and you went to Hofstra.
Yes,
So you're from the Northeast.
I am.
Oh, yeah.
So am I.
Yes, and I mostly grew up in Connecticut.
Where in Connecticut?
Glastonbury, right outside of Hartford, so
Okay.
towards the central part of Connecticut.
Okay. Yep. I grew up near Rockland County.
Okay.
Not too far away. The skill set that you have to bring to an event like this, my guess is your organizational skills are off the charts.
Yes. Well, yes. And I don't want to.
Is that? I was just a
But
wild
yes,
guess.
I'm very organized.
I can just the way she speaks. Yeah.
You wouldn't realize it coming into my office. There's piles everywhere. It's
she-
just that I don't like going back into my filing cabinet, so I'll have piles that I'm working on here, and the next month here.
And her office is not that large.
No, it's not.
It's
And
one of the
everybody goes,
smaller
"Oh."
ones.
But to pull, everybody always says, "Oh, what kind of artist are you? You must have an art degree in order to do this." I'm like, "Well, I dabble in arts. I grew up surrounded by the arts
Yep.
because my mom was had her BFA in arts from Syracuse University.
Okay.
So I know art, but my strength is organizational skills.
Okay.
I did not major in art.
Marketing. You're a nonprofit. They never taught us in college about fundraising. I don't remember a course in it. And in order for a nonprofit to get the word out, you've got to have a strong social media presence. You've got to have a consistent marketing effort. It's challenging. But are you expecting, obviously, to draw mostly from Moore County for this event, even though you're going to have out-of-state contestants? This is an event that's just being hosted here in Moore County that probably has a wider breadth than many art shows.
Yes. Most of the artists are from Moore County. We
Yeah.
get a lot from Hoke County and the surrounding counties.
Yeah.
That is the majority. And that's why we make sure the judge is not from Moore County.
I was going to ask you about the judges. Is it one judge or is it a panel?
It's one judge.
Wow.
Usually, we've had a couple do a judging a few times, but mostly one.
And it's always, except for during COVID, we had to pick somebody within Moore County.
Okay.
But I have a whole laundry list. This year's judge has come from NC State. Last year, the judge came from UNC. We've had judges from Wake Forest and
North Carolina Museum of Art.
Yes.
Ackland Museum of Art. I think a Mint one time. But this one came by way. He's actually part of my family, and I by marriage, and I met him at a funeral of all places, and found out what he did, and I said, "You ever judge?" So I was like, "Okay, give me your contact information." But he's the ceramics.
he is.
Man,
Yes, he's the clay studio manager at NC State
Yep.
Craft Center.
Okay. Who does all the marketing for you guys?
we kind of all do it.
You do it
We
all.
all do it.
Yeah, we were lucky. We got an anonymous grant that helped us last year to get money so that we can just do marketing. So we are starting that, and we just got renewed for that grant this year for a little bit more. So, but we have good partners with the Pilot, Pine Straw, radio stations. Y'all all help us out, and y'all help so many people out. But we've always had good relationships with the media partners that we do have.
Yeah. The Campbell House is going to be like a museum for 5 weeks, isn't it? People are going because you're going to have hours during the days that are open to the public
Yeah.
to come in, right?
Yeah, we're open weekdays 10 to 5 p.m. The third Saturdays of the month from 12 to 2. And we do open by appointment. You just call us. If there's a day like a Sunday you need to get in and your family's here.
Is that right?
Yeah, nobody takes us up on that.
No, I know. Only
I
a
didn't-
few
I didn't
times,
know
but
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll be happy to.
Huh.
We want to show it off. Not only the galleries in the Campbell House, but the artwork on the walls.
Yeah, in the real estate business I'm in, we drive up Connecticut and down Connecticut so often. We watch our clients look to the right at the Campbell House, look to the left at the Weymouth Center.
Yeah.
What is this? Where are we? And this magical strip, right, is open to the public.
It is.
But people think, oh, private.
Yeah,
or-
what is it? Weekly, we'll come in. One person will come in and say, "I've never been here,"
right.
Oh, yeah.
and we're like, "How long have you lived here?" 8 years. I'm like, "What?"
Yeah.
So yeah, please come in. It's a little intimidating. I grew up in a place that didn't have a house anything like this, and my first day driving into that driveway was like, dang, this is nice.
People need to come in just to see the inside of the
Yes.
building. It's gorgeous.
It is.
And, I first came here in 1979 on a golf trip. Don't ask me how many years I was out of college. But I can tell you that that strip of Connecticut, where the Campbell House is and where the Weymouth Center is, has not changed one bit.
It's quintessential Southern Pines.
It's completely
Yeah.
buffered. And we had Mayor Taylor Clement on, who lives not too far from there downtown.
Right.
And we talked about the preservation versus growth and the constant back and forth. But that strip of Connecticut where the Campbell House is, it's like you're walking back in time.
Well, it's a scenic byway now.
It
The
is.
state has marked it as that. There's a sign there. But we're lucky in that the town owns the Campbell House property. Weymouth Center is a private nonprofit organization. That's their mission is to take care of that. They are bordered by Phoenix Village, which is a gorgeous place, and Weymouth Woods. It's like 600 acres. Right behind Weymouth, so that whole area is protected. And then you got Walter Moss Foundation, which is another 4,000 acres.
Right.
So you don't have that anyplace else that I know of in North Carolina.
When we did that benefit concert back in 2001, we called the Campbell House and we asked to rent the space.
Yep.
And we had a catered lunch done.
Yeah,
Can that still be done by people if they wanted to come in?
it can. It's a little difficult with based on dates. If you have a certain
Sure.
date in mind,
Of course.
depending on so for the Fine Arts Festival, it's such a large show that we have art everywhere. It makes a larger function that you might want to have a little more difficult. But if it works in with the gallery schedule, we'll rent it to you.
That would be, for a lot of people, that's an iconic building in an iconic location.
Yeah.
And I think it speaks to the spirit of Southern Pines almost more than any other area of town. Don't you think?
Oh yeah,
He's in love with.
I love the Campbell House, and we've worked with the town so well. They just are getting ready to renew our lease for 25 years. We are embarking on a capital campaign to make the Campbell House add 2 art galleries to it and 2 bathrooms, which right now we have no accessible bathroom at all on the first floor. So we're adding 2 of those. So what we're trying to do is keep the look of Campbell House that it's had for almost 100 years.
Right.
And for the next 100 years, make it more usable, but still with that same
Keep
character.
the spirit intact. When is that going to start?
We're hoping by 2027 breaking ground. Right now, we're just trying to raise money.
Okay.
We're in the quiet phase of it, but not so quiet right now.
Oh, yeah, I know.
No.
But if you want to talk to us, we'll be happy to show you the plans, the floor plan, and all that.
and you have the space. You
We
have the space to do it.
We do.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the town has given us their blessing. So we're moving forward to it. And we've raised a lot of money so far, but we got a ways to go.
Yeah. I hope people who drive by there and admire it from a distance will pull their car in.
Turn right on in.
Come on in, take a look at this
Yeah.
building. It is just magnificent.
Oh yeah.
We're going to come back in our third set, and we want to talk a little bit about where people can get tickets, the logistics. All as I look at you when I say the word logistics, I'm looking right to you.
That's what she did in the Army, I think. Kind of.
The logistics,
Communications.
no, communications.
Yeah.
I did all this.
I,
I was actually in charge of a radio station at one point in
Oh,
Korea.
wow.
Yeah.
in Korea.
Yes.
We're talking all about the Fine Arts Festival to be held at the Arts Council of Moore County at the Campbell House from July the 23rd to August the 27th. We'll be right back. Welcome back to our third set, talking all about the 2025 Fine Arts Festival to be held at the Campbell House. And it's really just a couple of weeks away. And there are artists that are still in the process of applying for the show right now. They're all getting lined up.
Well, our art delivery dates are July 8th through the 12th. So right now, some of the artists are finishing up their work. You don't have to apply until that week. So it's not a pre-approval. We're not taking registrations right now. It's just 1 week. They bring in their registration form, and they bring in their 1 or 2 pieces of artwork.
Are many of the artists present for the event, or do they come, and do you have anything set up where they have a meet and greet? Is there anything like that?
We have the opening reception, and there's an award ceremony during that. So we'll have 400 or 500 people crammed into the Campbell House.
Oh my goodness, is that right?
Oh, it's crowded.
But if it's nice enough, we'll have the award ceremony outside.
Yeah.
Yeah, hopefully a little cooler than it is this week, for sure.
Yeah.
And again, the word that you're getting out, are you you're marketing this through social media so people get the word, and through radio shows
Direct
and such?
mail, radio, newspaper, anywhere we can put it.
And your website is pretty intuitive.
Yes. Well, we hope so.
I think it is.
If you wanted to go find like a whole list of all our programs, just click on programs at the top.
Yes.
All right, and it's moreart.org.
Yes.
So ticket sales, are they done?
For the Fine Arts Festival?
Yes.
It's free and open to the public. Now for
free?
entering artwork, there's a fee to put that in there, but no, you can come see the artwork throughout the 5 weeks it's on.
We're always free. All of our exhibits are free for the public.
How do you keep your just an aside, how do you keep your prices so reasonable? I looked at your membership fees.
Yeah.
I mean,
well,
$45, $50 for a year?
There's a laundry list of sponsors for just the Fine Arts Festival, and you happen to be one of them.
Right.
With 4 properties, but it's like Robbins, May and Rich, the Artist League of the Sandhills, Central Security, Eye Candy Gallery, Gullies, Charles Schwab, Michael Lamb Interiors, Patricia, which is a clothing store, I think, and then Seal Bryant. These are individuals. Rollin and Frank Shaw, and Sandy Tremblay and Paul Hammock are all sponsors of this one show. So, and if you're a member of the Arts Council, again, it starts at, if you're a student, at $25. If you're an individual, it starts at $45 and goes up.
That's not a month. That's a year.
That's a whole year. And you get discounts in our galleries. So 10% off there. You pay the member rate to enter into the Fine Arts Festival. If you go on our art tours, you save a lot of money.
Right.
I mean, you're talking hundreds of dollars if you go on one art tour. So being a member pays for itself in that just one program.
Also, some discounts around town. You get 10% off at the Country Bookshop.
Yep.
15% off of framing at Eye Candy Gallery.
Yep. And we'll reciprocate with all those memberships. If anybody wants to add to something like that, we'll be happy to partner with them and tell them about your business, and if they get a discount, we'll send you our members there.
Okay. So you have a youth. I want to talk a little bit about some of the things beyond the festival. You have a youth theater program.
Yes.
And is there a charge for that?
No. So once again, it's free. Annually, we bring in the Missoula Children's Theater, and it's really kind of remarkable. In a 1 week span, children grades K through 8 will sign up. We send information to the schools and homeschool families as well. It's open to children in Moore County, and they take 1 week to go from auditioning, casting, to 2 performances, Friday performance and a Saturday performance.
Okay.
And this is a team, the Missoula Children's Theater, their base is Montana.
Right.
But they travel all over the world. I really enjoyed meeting the 2 young directors. Most of the time they're recent college graduates, theater, specialists, and they travel around. It's the Red Truck Tour is kind of their tagline, and they really did show up in a red truck. And they do everything. They have the set, the costumes, everything that you imagine that you need for a play. and they were really good with directing the kids, and the kids are so excited. And they put in hours after school for that 1 week in October.
It's in October.
Yeah, it's in October, and then the shows are October 24th and 25th. Is that right? Friday, Saturday? Is it?
I can't remember. I'm sorry.
I think 24th and 25th, but it's on our website. And this year's show is
It's
Tortoise
whatever
in the Hair.
they say it's going to be.
Exactly.
I think, Chris. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You and I just have to understand.
I'm with it.
Okay.
Got that.
But again, it's one of those things where I had a couple of families this past October drop off, particularly boys. They would drop off, well, he said he wants to do this. We're really not sure. Just can you take my phone number down and text me if he's decided it's too much or it's overwhelming. By the end of it, one of the boys was like, I really want to do theater directing. He's in the 5th grade. And so it's neat to see somebody discover something,
Sure.
New.
Sure.
Yeah.
He wants to just take over at a young age.
He had his clipboard.
He
and
wants to
was-
delegate.
Yeah.
It's clipboard.
He had his clipboard out.
And there's spots for 50 to 60 kids.
Yeah.
That's great.
So there's
Yeah.
is in all from the little kindergartners in their little cute costumes to somebody in 8th grade
Right.
that has speaking parts.
Yeah, and our youth theater program was set up long time ago, so it's free to participate. We do sell tickets to the show,
Right.
and it's reasonably priced.
You don't have to apologize for that.
No. But we also get grants every year for that, so
Sure.
that we can afford them because it's not cheap to bring them from Missoula to come all the way over here, but it is well worth it when you have kids in Pinecrest and Union Pines and Northmore now performing on their stage. I actually say a big percentage of them have done Missoula or one of our youth programs. I mean,
For sure. Yeah.
you've interviewed Bradley Gibson.
Yes.
He started his first show was through our youth programs.
Did he really? There's a pretty strong theater contingent in the public schools.
Oh, yeah.
And they do everything they can for these kids to get the word out, to train them, to put them on the stage, to get them to perform.
Oh, yeah.
And to learn a lot about themselves and to grow up all at the same time.
Oh, yeah.
And we love having them come on. If you have some of these kids who are participating, we would even consider doing a show with some of them to bring them on, because for the kids, this is a great thing for them to come in and do.
Yeah.
And some of them are nervous, but some of them are so unlayered. They're just out there, they're just out there behaving and reacting like normal. But it's a privilege to see in this area, especially with the influx of so many younger families, what the parents can pick and choose from in the arts in Moore County.
Oh, yeah. There's no shortage of it. When I first moved here, it was 31 years ago, there was a shortage.
Yes, there was.
It was hard.
You turned the radio on and called it a day.
Yeah, pretty much. 5 o'clock, the town's just
That's right.
closed up. There's not that anymore.
Right.
If there's no excuse for a child not to find something that they can throw their passion at.
Right.
And it is nice to see, but it then becomes competition in terms of
Sure.
how do you fit all that into this one child's schedule, and just to pick and choose.
That's right. Tell me about the classical concert series that you have coming up.
That would be mine. Yes. So the classical concert series actually started as a separate nonprofit organization, and in like 2005, they kind of folded and asked the Arts Council to take over. And so this program came to us already formed, and it's basically a chamber music series, and we do it at the Sunrise Theater, and it features some of the world's best musicians. They're classical, but they're some of the best musicians in the world. And we have 4 concerts a year. The first one is Seth Weinstein, who is a pianist, and it's going to be on October 6th. This is going to test my brain because I left the brochure. And then we've got another pianist named Mickey Sawada, who's going to be on November 3rd. And then February 16th is going to be a woodwind quintet called Windsync.
Oh.
And then the last one I'm super excited to get them back. They were here 2 years ago. It's the Galvin Cello Quartet. and they're going to be on here March 30th of next year. But that was about the best concert I've seen in years.
And they're all held at the Sunrise?
All of them at the Sunrise Theater, and it's reasonably priced again. But you can get a subscription to all 4 concerts for $96 if you're an Arts Council member, or $115 if you're a non-member. So you save money to be a member there. But it's going to be some of the best concerts you'll ever see in a chamber music setting, which you don't get to see that very often. You see big symphonies, and they're great, but this is
Right.
individuals in a intimate setting of the Sunrise that you feel like you're on stage with them. And that cello quartet, I love cellos. I love the sound of them, but I didn't know that was going to be as exciting as it was.
Right. It seems to me that the Fine Arts Festival that's coming up from July 23rd through the 27th of August could be a great introduction to the Arts Council and to the Campbell House for people who either have been living under a rock or people who have just moved here and are looking for reach out destinations for the arts, because that's one of the things that people look at. They look at schools, they look at jobs, they look at the arts, and they want to know where they want to live and what kind of a lifestyle they want to have. So I really do hope that you get a lot of people who come in who open their eyes to see what the Arts Council is all about through the Fine Arts Festival.
Please come by, see our galleries. If you want to see others, we'll tell you where they are.
Yeah.
I mean, they're all. Moore County is very lucky in what we have in southern Moore County, what we have in northern Moore County. Which
Right.
You've got Seagrove Potters, which is the largest collection of potters in a certain area in the country, if not the world.
Is that right?
Yeah, it's only 30 minutes away.
Right.
I mean, it's
Right.
on the other side of the county. It's not far away, and it's a beautiful drive.
Yeah. If we were at Hofstra and they said it's only 30 minutes away, you would only go 3 miles.
Yes,
Well, that's
exactly.
true.
That's true.
But not here.
Not here.
That's the New Englander and New Yorker in us talking.
Yeah.
Living here is so much easier.
Yep.
The Moore County Arts Council is a great gift to the county, and I just hope all residents avail themselves of the opportunities and learn what can be offered. And people can go to your website.
Easily, moreart.org. Or just Google Arts Council of Moore County.
Or
It's
get in
easy.
your car and drive up Connecticut Avenue
Please
from
do.
downtown
Please
and look
do.
to the right.
Yep.
And when you see a Currier and Ives postcard on your right, stop your car.
Yep.
Get out, walk the grounds.
Oh, it's beautiful.
It is beautiful, and
Yep.
it's open to the public.
It is.
Kate, I want to thank you for coming and joining us.
Oh, thank you for inviting me.
Heather, thank you for coming.
Thank you so much.
And Chris, as always, it's a pleasure.
Thank you.
We always want to have you back. And if you ever do want to do something with the kids to get them into a radio format, I think it would be a lot of fun. The Fine Arts Festival, July the 23rd through the 27th of August, right on Connecticut Avenue, close to downtown. I wish you guys the best of luck with the event.
Thanks, Bill.
Thank you.
Thank you all so much. It was a pleasure. This is All Things Moore County. Have a great week.